investigation are the Logan County Sheriff's Office, the Logan County Coroner's Office, the 13th Judicial District Attorney's Office, and the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. I want to thank each of the agencies that have and continue to assist in the investigation. I regret to inform you that we have located the remains of Miss Shirley Ann Severance. During this investigation, we all remained hopeful that she would be found alive. The Sterling Police Department and all the other agencies involved express our deepest sympathy and condolences to the family of Charles and Shirley Severance. Late yesterday evening and into the early hours of this morning, investigators discovered the remains of Shirley Ann Severance at two different locations. While we are confident these are the remains of Miss Severance, confirmation is pending. Investigator teams are processing both crime scene locations where the remains were found. One of the locations is at the Pruitt Reservoir, which is located about 18 miles southwest of Sterling along Highway 6. The second location is several miles west of Lorenzo, Nebraska, which is just a few miles north of the Colorado border. Investigator teams also have processed the decedent's residence located at 409 South 3rd Avenue. The autopsy on Shirley Severance will be conducted tomorrow, June 4th, at McKee Medical Center in Loveland. Early this morning, June 3rd, 2014, Brendan Leigh Johnson, age 19, of Sterling, who is the grandson of Charles and Shirley Severance, and Cassandra Ann Reeve, age 18, of Sterling, the girlfriend of Mr. Johnson, were arrested and charged with first-degree murder, a Class 1 felony, aggravated robbery, a Class 3 felony, forgery, a Class 5 felony, theft, a Class 4 felony. These are the charges that they are being held on and not necessarily the formal charges. In addition, some of these charges may be filed as crimes against an at-risk adult. They will be advised tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. At this time, the investigation indicates that there are no other individuals involved in the crime, and there continues to be no public safety threat. We appreciate the support, assistance, and cooperation of the citizens of our community and the media during this investigation. This has been and continues to be a very complex case, and I want to once again express my appreciation for the cooperation and professionalism demonstrated by all the agencies involved. We will take a few questions, but please understand we will not be releasing much more information than has been already released. And I'll have District Attorney Brittany Gluten come up and answer some of those questions.
And I may or may not, like I said, we may not be able to answer very many, but yes.
You mentioned that they're also expected to face robbery charges. Was the motive in this some sort of robbery of their grandparents? Do we know what may have provoked the murder?
At this time, it's still under investigation what the motive would be.
Is the grandson the person that was listed as also living in the residence, or is that still someone else? You guys had said there was a third person, family member that lived in the residence.
That I can't comment on because I don't recall those. The prior, maybe the chief can answer that.
That is correct. This is the same individual that we had noted had resided in the residence.
And Chief, he was also the same person that originally called in about the first body in the house, correct?
That's correct.
History of phone calls to this home, or any history of these individuals?
At this point in time, that's all still under investigation as well.
You mentioned that the remains were also found in Nebraska, and I apologize, how far away from where we are here in Sterling were those remains found?
It's probably
Do you
40
mind
miles.
to the
Yes, sir.
Lorenzo is about 40 miles north of Sterling, and then the location was about 8 or 9 miles west of Lorenzo, and so probably about 40 miles, 45 miles.
Were both individuals arrested here in Sterling or in Nebraska where the remains were found? Can you tell us where they are now?
They were arrested in Sterling and they are being held at the Logan County Detention Facility.
Are they talking to it all? Are they being cooperative?
I can't comment on that.
Do they have any prior records on similar incidents?
I don't have any information as to that, and I couldn't comment on it even if I did.
Can you again go through the charges you expect to face? I know that they could change, but the charges that are pending right now against both individuals?
First-degree murder, as well as aggravated robbery, theft, felony level theft, and felony forgery. And then some of these charges may have the enhancer of being committed against an at-risk adult.
And both the 19-year-old male as well as his girlfriend will face the exact same charges?
At this point in time, it would appear so, yes.
I don't know how much you can go into this because of the investigation, but can you give us any idea about how you were able to make this arrest, what leads got you to this point?
Yeah, I can't discuss that at this point. I will say that the officers with the Sterling Police Department, as well as my department, as well as the Logan County Sheriff's Office and CBI, have been working pretty much nonstop the last several days, putting together pieces and talking to people and just sort of going through the normal steps of an investigation. And so it was through all of those steps that we were able to reach a conclusion last night.
Can you tell us any of those pieces you've been trying to put together?
I can't at this point, no, other than to say that we've talked to a lot of witnesses, and we've got a lot of different, obviously a lot of different locations that we're looking at and putting together. So other than that, no.
How many different locations are we talking about?
The two that the chief mentioned, and then the home where the Severances were residing are the primary focused areas.
Any other?
Not off the top of my head, but I mean that in the sense that you talk to whoever people knew, and that could be wherever they were working or wherever they were. Any number of other locations are not the primary focuses, but are places that we could end up going and talking to.
Chief, this question may be better for you. We originally heard that the body of the male in the house was found, but there was no apparent signs of how he may have died. I know we were worried about toxicology tests coming back. Have we been able to determine yet then how he was killed? Was it maybe a struggle of some kind? Talk a little bit about that.
We can't speak to that. We still are investigating. But we did come up with some more information as a result of the investigation that led us to believe to get to the point where we're at.
And then can you speak to how Shirley, how she was killed?
That's has not been determined yet. Her autopsy is tomorrow, so we can't tell. We have no idea.
Do we know if the day that the call was made was the same day that these two individuals were possibly killed, or was it weeks before that?
At this point in time, the call came in on May 29th, and it's still a part of the investigation to determine exactly what day it happened. So it's possible, but I can't say for sure that it is or isn't. It could have been before that.
Do you have an idea when the last time someone spoke or talked to either one of those individuals?
I do not.
Did they have other grandchildren? Was this the only? Was this grandson the one involved? Was the only one in the family? Is it a big family here in Sterling?
I don't know the answer to that question.
I'm not sure. There wasn't anybody else living in the residence, and there is family in the area. And whether there is more grandsons or granddaughters, I'm not aware of that. I don't know if anybody else.
There are other family members.
Chief, you've got a grandma and grandpa and 19-year-old grandson that you think may be responsible for this. Thoughts?
Well, certainly from the time we got the call, and we had a person who was deceased, and at the same time we have his missing spouse, it elevated our concern. And so the situation certainly was concerning, and that's the reason that we put the resources towards this and were diligent as we were to get to where we are today. So, it's a concerning situation, and but we're pleased with the efforts and where we're at today.
Is there anything that tipped you off against the grandson that you can talk about? Because clearly you're confident this is the person who did it. You said the public shouldn't be worried anymore. Is there anything that led you in that direction? Why you think they're solely responsible?
I would just say it's the culmination of all the information that we have gathered over the last 5 to 6 days. I'll just reiterate that there has been an extensive amount of resources and hours and expertise put into this case, and as a result, we again have the information that we provided you today.
Will the investigation in the scene in Nebraska be handled from your office?
In conjunction with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, we have processed that.
Is there anything you guys can tell us about this couple?
Were they well known in the area? Were they? Was there ever been issues before with the grandson? Any other calls of disturbance in the house?
We can't speak on any history of the grandson or people involved, but the Charles and Shirley Severance have been and lived in this area for, I think, over 30 years. And so they are known to many community members in the area.
Active in anything?
That I'm not aware of.
Can you give us DOBs of the two suspects? You have
Mugshots.
available?
Sorry.
I agree. Yeah, if you have mugshots, it's well,
Yeah, we're going to release a hard copy of a press release, and with that will be the booking photos of the two suspects and the date of birth of I do not have those with me for part of my information, but I don't have the information right
We'll
here.
do it back.
Well, I think that'll do it. We appreciate again for you coming out and taking the time. We appreciate the media's help in broadcasting that we were looking for Ms. Severance. Again, the agencies involved, I can't thank them enough, and the time and the commitment, dedication that they put forth for this case to at least provide some information for the family so they can have just a little bit of peace. And so, again, thank you to the Logan County Sheriff's Department, District Attorney's Office, Colorado Bureau of Investigation, Logan County Coroner's Office for their help